Welcome to our presentations on history journey of Southeast Asia, from the ancient kingdom to the modern nation states. Before the 19th centuries, these regions was dominated by power that very differently than the modern states of systems that as we know today. Kingdoms such as Majapahit, Ayutthaya, and Khmer did not have fixed borders like the contemporary countries. Instead, they governed their territories by a mandala systems. Mandala systems is a flexible network and the power is centered by the influence of the kings and regional loyalty. However, the arrival of the Europeans dramatically reshaped the political and social landscape of the region. Examines at how colonialism left a lasting legacy and how the Southeast Asian countries to continue to wrestle with these challenges.
Okay, in a mandala system and the pre-colonial political identities. To understand this transition, it is important to understand how pre-colonial kingdoms operated. Unlike modern states that are based on clearly defined terrorist and centralist governance, the kingdoms of Southeast Asia use the mandala system, a concept of power the center on the king and extended in states through patron-client. According to historian Anthony Reid, this system emphasizes spiritual and cultural legitimacy as the source of power, not just administrative control. This kingdom construct political identity that were closely linked to religion, whether Hindu, Buddhist, Islamic, or local beliefs, and loyalty to the king as the central figure. Therefore, the social and political identity of the community were not built on the basis of nation or ethnic, but on the royal and religious that bound the communities. This suggests that the concept of the nation-state as an identity based on authority and citizenship is relatively new in region.
Colonialism is an organization and exploitation project. Starting from the 16th century, Europeans such as Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, British, and French began to enter Southeast Asia with economic and geopolitical goals. However, colonialism is not only about territorial conquest, is it a systematic project to build institutions that enable administrative control, research exploitation, and political domination. The strict territorial demarcation by colonial power replaced the liquid mandala system with a clearly bordered nation-states, a concept that was unfamiliar to the local community at the time. And then Nicholas Starling underlined that the colonial bureaucracy served as a rigid control tool and eroded more flexible of a local government. In addition, colonialism introduced a Western education system and modern law to aim to form a local elite that could function as an intermediary for colonial power. However, this process doesn't run smoothly and often cause social tension and continuous inequality.
We'll also draw from the perspectives of Benedict Anderson's about imagined communities, analyze how colonial borders shape the politics and identity in the present day. Colonial rule become the source of oppressions and a space for resistance. Colonial educations and print technology allowed new ideas about independence and nationhood to spread widely. In his book Imagined Communities, Benedict Anderson explains that a nation is an imagined political community constructed through language, print media, and shared experience. In Southeast Asia, this meant that local elites began to imagine a broader community beyond royal loyalty, building identities that cross ethnic and religious lines. Nationalist movements led by figures such as Sukarno in Indonesia, Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, and Aung San in Burma leveraged these ideas in their struggle for independence. However, the decolonizations revealed that the colonial border cannot be erased easily and often can make a new conflict.
Post-colonial nation state, challenge and legacy. After independence, Southeast Asian countries entered colonial boundaries that largely ignored local social and cultural realities. This led to major challenges, such as ethnic conflict and internal political struggle. For example, in Myanmar, colonial borders that marked different ethnic groups lead to prolonged conflict. Many countries also entered authoritarian governance system, corrupt bureaucracies, and social inequalities rose in the colonial era. This formation of nation states is therefore not just about building political institutions, but also a complex and ongoing process of negotiating identity and power. The concept of the modern state in Southeast Asia is a space of negotiation between local traditions, colonial legacy, and national aspiration.
So in conclusion and critical reflections, the transformation process of the Southeast Asia from a kingdom to a nation state is a narrative full of contradictions and challenges. The modern state that exists today is the result of the clash of various historical forces. The traditional power system, colonial power, and the ideas of modern nationalism. Colonial heritage is still very evident in the political structure, law, and even social problems in Southeast Asia countries. Understanding this history critically helps us see that the nation state is not a final reality but ongoing project. As a student and citizen, we need to realize that development of a fair and inclusive country requires a deep reflections on the past, including the colonial legacy that not only shaped but also limited the political and social development of this region. And so that's all from our group. Thank you for following our presentation and explanation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.